Welcome to Channel the Arena in Indianapolis was alive long before tip-off. Fans in red, navy, and gold streamed into the stadium, their excitement radiating to the concourses. Every step echoed with anticipation. Every conversation carried the same theme. The clash between the Atlanta Dream and the Indiana Fever, a matchup layered with storylines, rivalries, and rising stars. The air was electric, almost tangible, as the smell of popcorn, arena food, and fresh merchandise filled the senses. Vendors called out, children clutched souvenir basketballs, and the hum of thousands of conversations created a low roar that only grew louder as tip-off drew closer. On the court, the players went through their warm-ups with sharp focus. For Atlanta, the Dream's backcourt worked through shooting drills, their rhythm smooth and purposeful. Coaches barked out instructions, reminding them of defensive matchups that would be critical against Indiana's versatile offense. On the other side, Indiana Fever stars were locked in. The Fever's dynamic rookies and veterans went through their routines, jumpers from mid-range, quick threes from the corner, free throws in sequence. Every shot was met with a murmur of approval from the crowd, a crowd that clearly leaned in favor of the home team, but respected the talent of the visitors up in the commentary booth. The broadcasters set the tone for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Indianapolis. Tonight, the Indiana Fever take on the Atlanta Dream in what promises to be an electrifying contest. Both teams have been fighting for playoff position, and every possession tonight could matter in the standings. The cameras scanned the crowd, catching handmade posters that read, Fever Rising, Dream Big, Atlanta, and even playful ones like Defense Wins Championships. Kids waved Fever towels in rhythm with the arena music, while adults leaned forward, phones ready to capture first moments of what they hoped will be a memorable night. The pre-game storyline was rich. Atlanta Dream looking to solidify their defensive identity while leaning on their perimeter shooting. Indiana Fever riding the wave of their young stars and home court momentum, and the growing rivalry between these two franchises that have produced thrilling games in the past. As the national anthem concluded, both teams huddled one last time. Coaches delivered fiery speeches, veterans slapped the backs of rookies, and captains demanded focus. When the announcer's voice boomed through the speakers, introducing each starting lineup, the crowd rose in unison. Spotlights danced across the court. Every name, every cheer, every boo heightened the stakes. By the time the players took their positions at center court, the anticipation had reached its breaking point. The referee stood ready, gripping the game ball, eyes flicking between the captains. The stage was fully set. And then, with the crowd roaring and thousands of eyes locked on the court, everything paused for the briefest of moments. The quiet before the storm. The next sound would be the toss of the ball and the beginning of battle. The referee tossed the ball high into the air, and with that single upward spiral, the night's drama truly began. At center court, Aaliyah Boston of the Fever and Cheyenne Parker-Tyus of the Dream leapt for control. Boston's timing was perfect. She got a clean tap back toward Caitlin Clark, and the Indiana Fever officially claimed the opening possession. The crowd roared approval, the energy in Gainbridge Fieldhouse instantly reaching playoff intensity. Clark wasted no time setting the tone. Dribbling with her trademark composure, she called for a high screen from Boston. Atlanta's defense hedged hard, wary of her shooting range, but in a flash, she whipped a pass to the corner where Kelsey Mitchell waited. Catch, rise, release, swish. Indiana struck first with three, and the building shook. It wasn't just about points. It was about rhythm, about declaring that they would control the game's pace. Atlanta responded with equal urgency. Ryan Howard, calm but confident, brought the ball up and surveyed Indiana's defense. She used a quick crossover to shake her defender, pulled up from mid-range, and buried the jumper. The message was clear. If Indiana wanted to fight, Atlanta was ready. The first minutes were a duel disguised as basketball, each possession like a move in a chess match. Indiana looked to push the ball through Clark, who penetrated the defense and created opportunities for Mitchell, Boston, and Alyssa Smith. Atlanta countered with Howard's scoring brilliance and Alicia Gray's perimeter accuracy, staying right on the Fever's heels. The scoreboard reflected the battle. 7-7, 12-10, 15-15, the headline matchup, Clark versus Howard, defined the flow. Clark dazzled with her vision, orchestrating Indiana's offense like a maestro, while Howard attacked with grace, forcing the Fever into difficult defensive adjustments. Midway through the quarter, Clark reminded everyone why she had become must-watch. She brought the ball up in transition, glanced toward Mitchell, faked the pass, and drilled a deep three from well beyond the arc. The roar of the crowd was deafening, but Howard answered instantly, a step-back three over a contesting hand. The ball kissing the net as Atlanta fans in the building erupted. Sensing Indiana's momentum, Atlanta's coach Tanisha Wright switched offenses, dropping into a zone. The Fever's flow stuttered, their passes grew hesitant, and a turnover led to a Gray fast break layup. For the first time, the Dream had the lead. Indiana's coach Christie sides countered by demanding more off-ball movement, and suddenly the Fever sliced through the zone with quick cuts and ball reversals. Clark slipped a pass to Smith for a clean finish, steadying the ship. Every possession had the crowd on edge. When Clark drew a foul at the rim, Fever fans clapped in rhythm, chanting her name as she sank both free throws. When Howard earned trips to the line, boos cascaded from the stands, but she blocked out the noise and calmly buried each shot, her stare steely on the way back down the court. The quarter's final minutes were chaotic. Boston dominated inside. Mitchell added a steal and score, but Atlanta stayed level with timely buckets from Howard and Gray. With the score tied at 22, Clark curled off a double screen and launched another quick-release three. It splashed through, and the arena trembled. Yet Atlanta wasn't done. Howard floated one in, Gray stole a pass, and suddenly the Dream were back on top. As the clock wound down, both teams clawed for control. Boston scored a putback after a fierce rebound battle, but Atlanta's bench guard sank a contested jumper from the wing just before the buzzer. The scoreboard glowed with a razor-thin margin. Atlanta 28, Indiana 27. The first quarter had been everything fans hoped for. Fast, physical, full of star power. Neither team had seized control, and both benches knew this was only the beginning of a war that would last deep into the night.